Naruto 556 Gaara versus the Mizukage. Okay, so he's the Mizukage that is the water shadow, the water cage. Alright, well, this starts off when Gaara, as powerful he is, he's my favorite character. His sand, there's an oil that the Mizukage puts on the sand, and it seems to turn it into a sludge or make it in some way um, where Gaara can't control it anymore. And of course, Gaara is, I haven't seen Gaara do anything. I mean, he can do these awesome things with the sand, and then he used to have a tailed beast, and that was it. I mean, that was a lot. It's not like that's a little bit, but without the sand, I think everybody agrees he's in a lot of trouble. Well, he isn't. He's out in a desert area, so there is sand out there, but this is making it very difficult for Gaara to do anything. And another thing is the Mizukage, as much as he's been telling them when to attack and explaining his abilities so they can beat him, he also seems to be having a lot of fun fighting. It seems like his heart isn't completely into going down. Okay, well anyway, as they're fighting, there's an opening for the Tsuchikage to go ahead and use his dust technique, which, will destroy him, but the Tsuchikage's used up too much chakra, he can't use it. Okay, so now he's going to use an actual earth element rock fist bam technique, and he comes down and boom, he hits, and then the Mizukage gives him a hard time, saying, basically it never works unless you put your back into it. And then, of course, every time he puts his back into it, it's more powerful, but it also, bam, breaks his back. So, it seems to work. But it doesn't destroy him. It seems to destroy the crab. So, there's a partial success. And then, he fades from where he is by Gaara. So he's here, he's there, and Mizukage is able to go around, and then bang, he does the finger, thumb, gun, and pow, he uses a water technique. This is the Huziki clan's water gun technique, and pow. The only thing is it's not the real Tsuchikage. It's a sand clone. So boom. But I think a lot of us are thinking that the Tsuchikage is going to bite it. He's an old guy, been around a long time, and then there's certain people. It's, you're looking for a certain number of people to die in this war. There has been some complaining that it actually not enough of the top characters that have done. But anyway, pushing on. So now they think, now that it's all set up, and they're going to. Gaara is now in a position, after everything happened, he was using his, that sand eye technique where he could see what was going on with that, sand ball eye. And so they go ahead and they try to seal up the Mizukage. And it looks awesome. And he uses this thing, it looks like a pyramid. He forms a pyramid out of the sand, which is really cool. I mean, I thought that was pretty creative. That was pretty sweet. So that happens, and then boom, the pyramid explodes. Okay, now they think he's in the pyramid, and the sealing team was all over it. I mean, they were just all over it. And then boom, big explosion, and then final page is like the Mizukage's face up in the sky, and it looks like, I don't know, the sand's up there, and it's made out of that, or it's clouds or something. I'm really not sure. But at the end, the Tsuchikage, explains that it's a technique developed by the Musama's ancestors, Mizukage's infinite explosion technique. Now, if nothing else, an infinite explosion technique sounds like a pretty cool thing to see. But of course, an infinite explosion technique, well, it already exploded the pyramid, while they were trying to seal him. So this is a pretty powerful thing to bust out of Gaara's sand, anyhow. So that's a question. What is it? What is the infinite explosion technique? If anybody knows, hey, you know what? Even if you don't know, take a shot at it. See if you know, if you can make a guess. Another thing, in the very beginning, there was a point I wanted to make that I skipped over. The last time I've seen something like an oil used on somebody else's technique to dampen it down, I'm sure there were probably other cases, but it was when Jiraiya used oil on Conan during the pain arc, if you remember that. She came out, and he's like, okay, let's see, you have like a paper technique, okay, oil, boom, goodbye. So it was kind of, you know, so we've kind of seen something like this before. This chapter is like 554 in that it's obviously here to set up next week. So it's also like 54. When I read 554, when I read 556 here, it went by pretty quick. It's interesting. There's cool things to see in it, but you read through it pretty quick. And there wasn't anything that made me stop and go, whoa, you know, what's the deal here? You didn't really find out, you know, you didn't find out anything really interesting about their past, or you do see a lot of cool abilities, but nothing that you go, wow, you know, here's something I really need to ponder, except for the ending. You know, now here's another, you know, what is this infinite explosion technique? So it's a great ending. It's a great ending, and it's a really good chapter. Like I said, I don't rate them because, I mean, you know, you could have two things that are like an 8 or a 9, and you could compare them, and they're not even the same. Or I don't know. I enjoyed it. I do wish, however, I guess we got kind of spoiled with a lot of the chapters before this. I wish it was broken up a little more. I would like to see what's going on in this battlefield and maybe something else. Or at least, what I would really like to see is, you know, if Kishimoto was listening to this, which I'm sure he would, you know. But if he was, I would say, do what you just did, but add in a few panels to show us where other characters are or what they're doing. And mix it up a little bit, you know. If nothing more, like a speed bump in here to kind of get us to stop and go, okay, well, this character's on another side of the battlefield doing this, and this one's doing that. And, you know, mix it up a little bit, because, like I said, these are good chapters, but you just go through them so quick, and the only thing, I mean, the only thing that this chapter's helped us do is it's built the next chapter. I mean, which is good. Like I said, it's a great ending, but I don't know. I mean, that's just the way I would like it, but you know, it's just me. I mean, what do you think? This chapter, 554, how do you feel about these chapters? Now, I'm probably unique in this, and Gaara is my favorite character, so seeing Gaara is awesome for me. And there's a lot of action in here, so for me, it's a really good chapter. Like I said, you know, as everyone, I would like a little more, but it's a pretty good chapter. Like I said, there's nothing really, you know, super, you know, except for the end. What is it? I'm asking anybody out there if they want to throw their opinion on there. Okay, that's going to be it. This has been it's a short chapter, and I actually stretched it out quite a bit. But if you would please, one Naruto fan to another, give me a thumbs up if you would please. And if you don't want to, fine. But one Naruto fan to another, it would be nice if you would give me a thumbs up. Now, if you want to subscribe, that's great. You know, if you want to, that's fantastic. I'm not really pushing it that hard. I mean, you know if you want to subscribe or not. But like I say, a thumbs up doesn't cost you anything. You know, just there's no commitment there or anything. It just, you know, I make these videos for fun. They're enjoyable for me. I really like Naruto, and I like getting some feedback. That's also another thing too. If you want to put something in the comments, hopefully positive, and that's kind of what I say. Have some respect. I'm just an amateur Naruto fan, like you are, or most of you are. I'm assuming. I'm not a professional reviewer. This isn't going to be professional quality anything. This is just, it's a YouTube video. So, once again, if you would please, give it a thumbs up. And hopefully next week we will learn a lot more and it will be awesome. And until then, until the next chapter comes out and I review that one, take it easy.